Hey, Jason, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
All right. Awesome, man. I'm glad you made it
Good
on. I
morning.
was like, I don't know if we're talking in a different time zone or what. You're in Connecticut, right?
That's correct.
I'm over here in Australia, down
Ooh,
south.
nice.
Oh,
How's the weather over there?
I'm originally from Texas, so I feel like I'm in Arizona. No, I'm just kidding. I'm over here about 40 miles east of Phoenix, and it's rainy and just overall gloomy right now. I think Phil, he's got some wind and some wet stuff,
some wind, yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's probably pretty cold. Some wind. He said it was 60 miles an hour today. Let all his birds out, and they flew 100 miles away because it was so windy.
Yeah,
They
I was
just
talking to
now
you on the
got
phone.
back.
I was like, it's okay. I've flown them in the high winds before, but this is kind of next level shit right now. And I let them out, and I was like, oh man, I don't even see them anymore. Where are they? They were like so far blown away. They were struggling to come back. It was something funny.
Those are just his fantails.
Yeah, my fantails. What do you say? It looks like when a fantail's flying, looks like somebody's throwing a towel across the room.
It's like a gym towel flying.
Awesome.
That's what it looks
Fantails
like.
flying?
Yeah,
They fly like a hand towel that's been soiled.
Oh man, what is it? 8:30, 9:30 there your time?
Yeah, about 9:30.
Okay, cool.
Just
Well,
got home from the bar.
I wish that was the case. That'd be nice, huh?
Well, we just opened up the bar, so
That's right.
You guys got nice weather over there. Nice and warm.
Yeah, sometimes. Right now it's not very nice. I mean, I'm at 5,500 feet, so we get some crappy weather.
Ooh, that's a nice place to fly.
Yeah, the
He's
one
got
good thing
wind.
is, I got really high wind, but I'm outside of the tree line, so I don't have a lot of birds of prey, and that makes it pretty good. Like I've only lost 2 birds in the last 4 or 5 years,
Oh, wow.
so I'm not really.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the birds of prey aren't really too much of an issue for me.
He's got these white homing pigeons. When he releases them, they fly 90 mile an hour because they got a 65 mile an hour tailwind.
Yeah. They just open up their wings like sails and cruise. Yeah, they no thing for them because I do releases south, so the wind blows them right to me. So Jason, you've done a lot of One Loft races. Are you a part of a race club in your area?
Yeah, I'm part of the Connecticut Classic.
Okay.
I stopped for like 4 years not flying in the club. Reason to be got busy life, so I just start shipping on a One Loft Races.
Yeah.
I'm back in the game this year. I'm flying on my house this year.
You got a lot of championships for these One Loft races. You even got the Arizona one in 2021.
That's correct. Yep. Yeah. You snuck that in.
Man, I just got the Racing Pigeon Digest in the mail today, and we're actually going to be talking to that guy from Louisiana with the One Loft race next week. But you're flipping through there, and it's like there's so many of these One Loft races that are just sprouting up all over right now. These new ones are coming up all over, and it's really growing a lot. I mean, obviously, you club fly, but you also One Loft fly. I mean, do you see that kind of being the direction that it's going?
We have one here in New England, but it's hard over here because of the cold weather. So they only have like a limited time of training the birds and everything. Even I shipped birds in Canada last year, and that's pretty hard too because they get the winter coming in early. You breed it by January. You have to have it racing by end of September, first week of October. You pass that time, it'd be too cold for the birds, and it changed the leaves. So the mountains change. There's no more leaves in the trees. When you train them, it's all green and everything. Now, when you're racing them on the 300 miles, there's no more leaves, so it changes. It makes it harder race. As I'm trying to come out with that.
They can see everything that's underneath the tree. I learned that when I was in Indiana for a short time. Fall came and you could see everybody's backyard. It was weird.
That's a different scenery, yeah. What One Loft race was that you did in Canada?
Pigeon Elite. I joined that, and I just got my bird back from the with Big Andy. There was a member there that didn't activate the birds and say, "Oh, I'd like to raise that."
Nice.
And I said, "Sure, I'll take those two birds." So one survived. It didn't win, but it's a nice looking bird. I just got it last week.
You said it was Pigeons Elite?
The Canada One Loft Race with Big Andy.
Big Andy, okay. We know a guy does one, Ryan over there, Feathers Elite Pigeon Auction.
Yeah, I shipped birds over there last year too.
Nice.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, I got my birds back over there. He did the Survivor thing last year. It was crazy though. It's Hunger Games and everything. He raised the toughest pigeon, whoever survived. They got like one eye cold. Some of them pick up some a lot of sickness. I think out of 300 birds, there were like 60 birds at the final race.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and my pigeon was on the second to the last race. Still got a one eye cold, flying at 200 miles, 250 miles, and still come home.
Yeah, it's a tough bird right there.
He's just doing an experiment. But those One Loft Races are like that. Whatever the organizer wants to do, you just hope your bird survive it. Each One Loft Race is different location. Let's say Spain, Pattaya, even here in the U.S. You got Indiana with the Hoosier, or Arizona. They're all different weather. It's hard to tell which bird's gonna win it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I always say it. It's like the horse for the course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just heard that at the other interview we just did. Horses for courses. Hello and welcome to the All About Pigeons podcast. I'm Phil.
And I'm Chris.
And today we have with us Jason Penya. He is a One Loft Race champion many times over. And he's here to talk to us about the Racing Pigeons for military veterans. And we're also going to do a little bit of talking on Bloodlines today. So Jason, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on the call.
Yeah. So can you give us a little bit of background with yourself and then, tying into the Racing Pigeons for military veterans?
Yeah, I was born in the Philippines. I came here in the U.S. when I was 19 years old, but I have pigeons since I was 6 years old. Once you get the bug, you just got bitten and you can't let go of it. So I stopped. I think I had it for 2 years when I was young. Then I stopped. Then I have it again in high school. Then I stopped again. Then in college. Then I stopped. Got married. And back in pigeons again. Just kept coming back.
Nice.
But it's part of life, Like I said, I had a daughter. You get busy. When she was little, I used to take her training with me when I was racing on the club. Well, when you go to high school, you get busy with some after school activities, and you don't have time. You get home, you're supposed to train the birds, and you don't have that because you have to bring them to the dance or ballet or piano lesson. You don't have that. That's why I went to One Loft Races after that.
Yeah, just easier of a commitment for you then.
Yeah, now she's in college. Now I'm back in the club.
So how did you get into doing the Racing Pigeons for military veterans? How'd that come about?
So Romer is the founder of it, and he approached me. He started it, and there's a lot of critics. He said, I think I'm just going to shut down the program. There's a lot of question and everything. He works in the VA in Texas, so he's been helping a lot of veterans already. He's been around with everybody, helping them out. And I'm with the Connecticut Foot Guard, the oldest military in the U.S., but we're considered as a militia. And he said, I got the uniform on. He said, you want to join? Plus, I'm in first responders too. I work in the medical field. Our RPMB is part of the first responders too, because there's a lot of stress on first responders, military veterans and everything like that. So part of that is pigeon. Having pigeon is take the stress away. You see them fly, come home, they're happy to see you. You feed them. It takes a lot out of that stress in you, And so he was about to quit. I said, no. I said, that's a good program, We should keep moving on this, we gotta help a lot of people with this thing, And right now we have actually a fundraising going for one of our members. His wife has diagnosed with cancer, so we gathered some birds for auction on Best Pigeon. Whatever we got out from there, we're gonna give it to Charles Blaseos is his name, to help out with some expenses,
Right,
But
that's cool.
That's part of the program, to help other people. If you're new, especially if you're in the veterans, we help non-veterans too. If you're a member, you want to get started, we help people out. We give them some starter kit and everything like that. It's just spreading the words of pigeon, because everybody loves pigeons, so might as well,
Yeah, man, I'll tell you, every documentary I've ever seen about pigeons, somebody's making some kind of a statement about how those things help with stress or anger, or how they have like a therapeutic quality to it. And any kind of hobby can really help focus your mind anyways, so that's really cool.
Somebody needs to tell my wife that.
Yeah.
Hey, tell your wife it's better to know that you're in the pigeon coop rather than hang around in the bar. When my daughter was little and says, "Oh, where's your dad?" My wife will ask, "Oh, you know where to find him. He's in the pigeon coop." Easy to find,
So better the pigeon coop than the hen house.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. And do you guys have a Facebook for the Racing Pigeons for military events?
Yes, we do. RPMBproject.com is our website, and just search RPMB. We have a Facebook page for it.
Okay, that's very cool. And I wondered if you could talk with us a little bit about Bloodlines. We had a listener request something on this, and I was like, this guy, he's working with some really high quality birds. He's doing the One Loft. So Jamie Hilbert asked us about talking some racing pigeon bloodlines and crossing, and what family of birds do you have now? What have you worked with in the past?
So when you're new with the pigeon racing, they always have this hype of bloodlines. I'll give you a secret with that. Buying bloodlines with pedigree, that cuts your breeding program in 50%. Let's say I could buy pigeons in a pet shop. I breed the bird, I work hard on it. Let's say out of 10 pairs, I got one pair that produce, maybe not even a champion. Let's say it's in the top 10 out of 600 birds. That's pretty good bird. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna keep breeding that bird. So next year, whatever I produce out of that pair, I'm gonna bring it back to the parents, because that's the one that's producing on my course, my race course, So the difference with bloodlines that are being sold in the market, especially, you have to have a reputable seller. Because some people, they just slap on the pedigree on it, and God knows if it's really the real bird, They just want to make a sale out of it. There's a lot of them like that, There's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot of I've been seeing on Facebook. How can you breed that bird when I have that bird still on my coop? And they're using the pedigree when they're selling the bird somewhere else, But it's really hard to say. But let's go back to the bloodline. I'm getting out of topic. So if you buy from a reputable breeder, two parts is they're not gonna sell you a bad bird, because they want their name to be carried too. So if you win out of their birds, it's kind of sort of advertising for them, because you win with their bloodlines that they breed. Second part, it adds to the value of their birds in their coop, because it's producing in your coop when you race. But that's the two part. People spend a lot of money because they're from reputable breeders, probably from 5,000 to 10,000 for your if you got money as a beginner. Now compared to buying a $5, $10 bird out of the pet shop. Let's say you're joining a One Loft race. Let's just say a Hoosier. Hoosier is $250 perch fee per bird just to get your bird on the coop. If your bird survive 100 miles, activation fee is $750. So you're spending $1,000 on that bird. So if you're competing with a $10 bird that you're trying to produce to make a winner, compared to $1,000 to a $10,000 bird, the $10,000 bird, if you look in the pedigree, from the parents to great grandparents are all family of winners. That's why they get expensive. But with the bloodline nowadays, there is so much process. There's no more pure bloods. It's actually become the name of the breeder is the bloodline.
Yeah, like Ganis or right.
Yeah, Ganis got like probably 20, 30 top breeders.
Taking notes here. I just saved myself $5,000. I'm gonna go to the pet shop tomorrow. Man, let's see how many races I can afford now. I can get rid of all these birds.
Well, it's gonna take you about 10 years to come up with your family.
Right.
That.
No, that's gambling, man.
That's just buying a lottery ticket right there. I mean,
I'm totally kidding.
Well, there was, we talked with Ryan, and he was saying that it's, what was it, Chris? Was it third generation that you're sending out to the One Loft race?
Like the third generation is going to be the one you want.
Yeah.
Third generation of the winner.
Yeah. You heard that before?
Not really.
When you're starting a family with your birds,
yeah,
your third generation's usually going to be where you're going to start getting better stuff.
Yeah, because there's really not really any more like pure Van Loons, Jansens, or because that stuff's been crossed. So, what families do you have right now, Jason?
So when I started 14 years ago, I got Husky and Van Rio, I got some Scion, I got the Brent and Hubins.
Okay.
So I bought them on the auction. Some of them are about to retire. So I know they've been racing for like 20, 30 years. So they only keep the best of the best out of their birds. But now it changes the way you look at it. If I'm gonna buy a bird, I would rather buy a bird that's like second place, third place, or first place winner than a pedigree bird, because I know that performs already.
So you're looking at the record more than the bloodline, then, is what you're saying?
Pretty much, yeah. It's because, like I said, when I started earlier, is the course for the horse.
Yeah.
So I ship a bird to Arizona. That bloodline might not do in Canada because it's different weather.
I need you to send me some of those Arizona birds, man.
There you go. He works on your area, but it's a different weather type, so it's different body composition. I'm helping out a flyer out of New Jersey. Last year was his first year flying. We got a champion out of him out of 250 miles, and he got a third place on a 300 for his first year. But he works hard. Pigeon hobby is not easy. It's a lot of work, cleaning, making sure birds are healthy, and he spent a lot of time on that, and it pays off.
So if you're sending a bird to like California, for instance, what would you be looking for? Like body type, eye sign, wing type?
So I usually ship 3 birds to One Loft Race.
Okay.
So I'll have a smaller bird, a medium size, and a bigger bird.
Okay.
Because I don't know. Yeah. Like the one in Arizona, I know what it's a medium to almost big size bird that I fly over there, the one I won, I know that's the kind of type of bird with the nice long wings is what I win from there. So that's why I send the 3. Let's say that's my first race for that One Loft race. I'm gonna test the water, hope I get something good, and whatever is stick, I'm gonna stay on that family. And I'm gonna infuse more of those winning bloodline out of that, and similar to that body type. Because the brain of the birds, a lot of birds are pretty smart now. If you've been breeding for 5 years, 10 years, and everything like that, all your birds got brain. They go home unless they got accidentally hit by a hawk or hit a power line or something. Accident happened. But if nothing happened to them, the bird's gonna go home. They're gonna come back. They get the brains on it. But what difference from it is the location, the weather and everything. So it depends on body type for that location that you're gonna ship. Like mostly birds in Pattaya, they're like skinny, small birds. If you look at it here, it's a little bit bigger than a street pigeon. That's what you want to send over there. That's what's winning bird over there. It changes, and somewhere in Hoosier, it's like the biggest bird that you got is the one that's winning.
And then like for Canada, where you got some kind of tougher courses, what are you sending up there?
The one that survived, that finished 49 on the final race, it's on the smaller side. It didn't balloon up. And I was thinking because he got sick in the beginning of the races. Usually the pigeon balloon up on the middle of the races. And it didn't happen to that. When I got the bird, still small.
Okay.
Because I shipped bird in Hoosier, and it finished the race over there too. When I got the bird back, that bird's just like almost a giant. I said, "Oh, this thing come back so big. It's so heavy. That's why it wasn't on the top 10." But it depends too, because One Loft Race, they use a different feeds. Like one Loft Race use Bersalaga, one use baiting feeds. It depends what feeds they gave to the bird too. So that's part of the concept to what they're feeding the birds.
It's all their show. I mean, the training, the feed, the terrain, the type of race that they're doing. It's
How much money do you spend on One Loft Race?
How much?
We won't tell your wife.
I can edit that part out, man. We just want to know.
Around $5-6 grand in one Loft Race.
On one race?
Yeah. I ship birds in Spain on Arona Derby. So just the quarantine here in the U.S. before they ship it over there, that costs you some pretty penny already. Plus, you're gonna have to activate the birds when you get there, because it was an inter-island race. So from one island, they train in the water. Then they there's like 3 islands they have to hit for the final race. So it's a tough race. So I just really want to challenge the bird that they can survive those kind of things. Because if they survive,
if they overfly there, they end up on another island.
They end up in the water.
Water. Oh, ouch! That is tough.
Mostly because there's not much islands around it. So if your bird muscle is not nicely put together, because some birds, they cramp, their muscle cramps, and some birds don't cramps as easy. So when they cramps, you just get stiff and you just fell and you're dead meat. You want to have those birds that they can survive a long distance bird. So I shipped some birds that from old bloodline, from the old breeder before. When back in the days, they used to fly 1,000-mile race. We don't see that no more nowadays.
Yeah. With all these One Loft races that are popping off now, you'll even see where they have pricing just to enter one bird. Most of the races, you're putting a good number in, and you're kind of covering your bases with a variety of different types of birds. What advice would you give to somebody who's getting started in this One Loft race? Send in 3, 5 10 birds or whatever one
No,
bird,
I probably ship like 30, but that's not in one place. I only ship 3 each. Make sure the bloodline out of those birds are from racers that win already or on the top 10, and always pair the birds with one big and one small. This could be a big cock, lesser hen, or big hen, or smaller cock. So when you get the babies out of it, you always come out in the medium size, because you still don't know what kind of feeds they're giving them when they go to One Loft race. They could balloon up extra and they're too big, or they don't balloon up that much, they're just be in the medium size.
And you're kind of judging a baby though when you're sending a bird out. I mean, I guess you're kind of making an assumption about what that bird's going to be from the breeding that took place.
That's correct. And usually in the beginners, people that are just starting it, my always my advice is go to local flyers where they at, about 10 local flyers, and get a pen and paper. And the first flyer that you approach is, hey, can I see your champion bird? And the champion bird, there's like 10 characteristics that you gotta look at it. The body shape, the eye sign, the flights, the silkiness of the feather, the throat. And out of that 10 that you write, you go to the next flyer and you ask for their champion again. And you're gonna mark all those 10. And after you finish the 10 lofts that you visit, you'll come out to like 6 or 7 similarities out of the champion. So that's what your baseline that you're looking at, that you want to have on your bird.
That's good advice. It's solid.
Because that's the common denominator out of the 10 champions that you hold and you see. You got apple shape or big plights or whatever, and you gotta know too what this champion at. This is champion for 100. This is a champion for 300. So there's a lot of notes taking on it.
Yeah.
But like I said, 6 or 7 out of those that you're gonna see, they're gonna have that on those 10 birds. 6 of them's gonna have it. No, there's no perfect bird that you're gonna have all 10 on the same bird. But that's guarantee you that you got more chances of winning if you can have those 6 out of that bird. And that bases you on your baseline on how you want to breed your bird. Like as you said, they're still babies. You don't know what they look like, But if you have the baseline on what you're looking at, that helps with you when you ship, in terms of picking out which bird you ship.
So really, before anybody gets started in One Loft racing, they should at least have some sort of a family going, racing on their own to get an idea. That's what you're saying.
That's the recommend, because they just be wasting their money.
Yeah.
And those people over there, they're shipping $30,000, $80,000 birds, babies.
Yeah.
And their bloodlines are from winners to winners, and they got the body type put together and everything.
And that's kind of the theme that we hear we'll talk to different guys from race clubs, and there's definitely an aspect now where it's almost like a business where people will just buy these really high pedigrees, put them in a breeding campaign. They won't do any racing at all and just ship off birds. And then there's the other aspect where these guys have a racing background, and they're going off of what the birds have done, pedigrees, bloodlines, it's all important, but they actually race the birds so they can kind of see where they're coming from with it.
That's the safe way to do it.
Yeah.
But if you got money growing on trees,
right,
just buy the pedigree bird and just ship 30 birds on one loft race and spend 50 grand out of it and hope for the best.
I still like the pet shop.
I know, because how many can you get? You can get like 50 birds at a pet shop for.
Man,
I have one guy here in Connecticut, and his main foundation bird, he bought it in pet shop for $5.
I know a guy like that.
And he flies in the club race south of Connecticut. He just kept breeding out of that bird, and most of his birds got 25% or 50% out of that bloodline from the $5 pet shop bird.
That's funny.
Isn't it Mulemans that are based off of a wild bird? or a wild caught bird?
I didn't really check mulemans, but I know was mulemans about 8 years ago. They come out red with some white splash in it,
I got a pair of
and
those.
they look like a Jansen body type when I look at it. But I really don't check their pedigree. Like I said, after 4 years of racing, I didn't go to pedigree that much no more. I went to a performance bird and a pedigree bird.
Sure. Everyone I've talked to so far, this is they've tried the mulemans. They don't have very good reports for me, so I might not have to worry about paying for any activation fees for a while. They said they all couldn't make it 100 miles.
Can't make the cut.
But yeah.
Mulemans is a very old bloodline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, here in Connecticut, we have a lot of hawks over here. This time of year, you let a bird out, even if it's a champion bird, you might not see it come back within a 5-mile toss.
Oh wow, that's tough.
They just got snatched in the air because there's no critters going around. There's no squirrels or anything like that for the hawks to eat. So when they see your pigeon, boom, it's dinner
never thought
time.
about that. I'm spoiled. I was flying in the rain today.
How's the feather of the bird when they come home? They're still nice and dry?
Yeah, they love the rain.
Yeah.
They'll it's kind of like a bath for them.
You must have given them a good vitamin E on it. It makes the water goes like a raincoat out of them.
Well, you do that oil on their feet, don't you?
I do the oregano oil.
Yeah.
It's olive oil and oregano.
Yeah, that helps on their feather. Oil, vitamin E.
Is the racing club that you're a part of up there, has it been growing? Has it been kind of staying the same? What's the health of that club like?
When I started, we only got like 12 members. Now we got like 54, 55 members.
Is that all your fault or what?
No, we're just a good club, you know. Some clubs, they have like a radius that they follow. You know, you can only go from the center point, you can only go 50 miles out. Yeah. We open our borders. Everybody can join.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah, because some people, they complain, oh, he's 50 miles away from me. So I
kind of like a California club.
You got 50 more miles to go, and that's like an hour, you know what I mean? If they clock the bird less than an hour, they still beat me. But hey, they got their wins. I got my wins. Wins change. Yeah. There's no way. I don't like that kind of thing. When they put like a perimeter where you can only fly if you pass that state highway, you can apply against us, and it's there's no control with the wind. It changes all year round. So that's why we grow. We open it up. You know, whoever got the best bird win.
Yeah. Arizona changes so much. The terrain changes so much out here. If we did it like a statewide, man, that'd be a different course for every bird.
Yeah. If I was part of a Phoenix club, they'd have to go 200 miles over a bunch of mountains to get back home, compared to just a straight shot across the city for most guys.
Well, I have a mountain to the east of me, but then it's desert, and then we have what do we have? About 5,000 foot elevation change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they have to go around that. They have to go around that mountain.
Yeah, and we have the rim and the Grand Canyon, and we're like on the tail end of the Rockies. So there's all kinds of stuff to, get in their way.
I'll give you a topic for your next podcast. Is the birds go up above the mountain or go around the mountain?
Yeah, now they got those trackers. They can actually watch how they're flying and stuff like that, which is really interesting to see the routes they choose.
Oh, the one they put on their legs? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see they'll follow a coastline, even though it's longer, instead of going straight across the body of water sometimes.
These ones that are showing up at my place, I don't think they would go over that mountain. It's pretty tall, pretty damn rugged.
Yeah.
And they tend to want to stay like at one height when they're flying. I noticed they don't really ever go any higher.
Yeah, most of the time they go around the mountain. But it's a good topic, because you guys live in a high elevation over there. You can have a drone to watch them, where they can have the GPS to track it. But the only thing with those GPS, they're like $50 a piece. But you don't lose that much bird, so you can give it a test.
Yeah, that's right.
My birds can't fly 50 minutes.
That's one rule too. They need to route out for 2 hours before you can do a road training.
Yeah, get him in shape.
I was so worried. I was so worried when I was new. I said, I lost all my birds, all 30 of them. It's been 2 hours. I can see a shadow at any of them. And I was new. I said, it was just one routing. Said, all right. They're learning new places.
My neighbor, his birds come over my place all the time. He's about 3/4 of a mile. And he flies 40, 50 of them at a time. It's kind of fun to see. They come over here and he flies colored homers. He's a show guy. So
Yeah,
everything.
the good question with that is, how big is coop?
There's some real estate there.
Sometimes pigeon, when they're not happy, they just tend to go somewhere else and wander.
Well, these guys are he loft flies every day, and they'll route over my place. It's kind of neat to see. I don't have very many colored birds. I had a red, white, and blue team. Just a 3-bird team. They were fun to fly.
That's a nice red, white, and blue thing.
Yeah, that's what you guys need to have for the RPMV, man.
Yeah.
That's perfect for you guys.
That was a lot of fun to fly. The one bird was he was a yearling. It was a white bird, and he was pretty trusty. I homed him from the neighbor's house. Never been flown over there. And then he gave me a red Muleman squeaker. I put that one in there and flew it. A nice blue check that I bred here. And they were a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, if you have a Muleman as your baseline, I would recommend some Stop Van Reed to mix with that bird. That'd be a nice bird.
Van Reed? Okay.
Van Reeds, yeah. They got a long kill, big flights, long neck. Your Muleman's probably like an apple shape, short neck, big heads. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's about right.
That'd be a nice one to cross with some Stop Van Reeds, and that'd be a nice big wings with nice muscle on it.
I've got a couple of pet shop birds out here. No,
Hey.
I'm not joking. The guy I got my first birds from, he sent me all of his race sheets on the birds, and so you can look up all the bands and that kind of stuff. And he was pretty modest about it. And so I pulled it up and I said, whoa, yeah, well, these birds, they fly. They fly pretty good. So anyway, I started breeding, and I had a couple of problems. I called him up and talked to him, and we just started kind of shooting the breeze. And he said, one of my best birds is a bird I saw at the pet store with a band on it.
That's the best bird.
He said, that's one of my best birds. One I found at the pet store. It's okay.
Yeah, you go to New York, they got a lot of pet store in there and a lot of beautiful birds. If I trace back on what I said with the 6 qualities of birds out of 10, you can go to the pet shop, and if you got that 6 qualities of birds that you're looking for, you might struck a diamond on the rough in there.
Well, in reality, if you're buying swap meet pigeons, you don't really know what you're buying either. So you see how it handles and be looking for what you're looking for.
I mean, for a newbie or new starters, that's not bad to start with. When you're new too, if nobody's mentoring you, and you overcrowd your coop, they got sick, and you buy $100, $200, $300 birds, and you don't know how to take care of the bird, and those birds are start pooping water and everything, and I said, what's happening here? That's a $200 bird, and they're just wasting money. But if they start to learn how to take care of the bird first, and a cheaper bird, if they made a mistake, it's not gonna hurt their pocket as much. I started 2010 here in Connecticut. This is before Facebook boom. It was more of a Craigslist. So I got the love for the pigeon. I built my coop. I said, I'm gonna go back to the pigeon. I don't know anybody on the pigeon world. I found this Craigslist. Somebody selling a white bird out of Massachusetts, 3 hours drive away from me. And I tell you, I drove the 3 hours to get those birds. That's
crazy stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think pigeon people probably wear out about 10% of the cars in America, driving to go get birds, driving to fly birds, training.
Just in training, yeah.
That's one thing that most don't consider. I didn't consider it either. It's the mileage. Yeah. You actually got to get your butt up out of bed to be out to let them birds go, and 60, 80 miles away if you want to train out that far.
Yeah, you gotta have to train the 100 miles if you're flying the club at least twice before the first race.
Yeah, it takes a definite commitment there, and you got to have the wheels, and you got to have the funds to.
Yeah, you got gas money. Was hurting when the price of gas was $4.15 before. It was crazy.
It's still pretty high here. I use the green handles, so it's over 3 for sure.
But the first speed limit was 5 miles an hour when they start having cars with steam engine.
Man,
you look in the history.
I'd rather ride a horse.
Yeah, think about that, man. Think about them guys that were training pigeons from horses.
You just got passed by a buckboard, bro.
But this is a good thing. All I can say is my best advice: if they're new to this sport, make sure they have a lot of time and do a lot of research. It's save them money and save them some time. Like what you guys doing. This is good for new people to listen and pick up some notes and help them in the way,
Yeah,
hey, we're 100% new people, so that's what we're doing. We're learning right along with them.
Yeah. Oh, I'm still learning every day. Like I'll tell you something. So this new guy that was training on in New Jersey, and he says, "Oh, this guy, there's an old guy that's flying in New Jersey," and I approached him and said, "How can what you do so you won't lose your birds so fast when you just first let them out?" He says, "Oh, I dumped them on the bucket so they got their feathers wet so they can fly out and they get used and familiar with the place." I said, "That makes sense, because if they're all dried out and they just scoop out and the hawk scare them, I got one bird, I just let it out of the coop. It flew 30 miles away and I have to pick it up because I used to put my phone number on the band. I put a sticker on it and they call me. I said, how you end up 30 miles away from my house and I just let you out? I don't even put you in the training. The birds were so scared it flew 30 miles away. So I picked that up, but I said I never try wetting the birds when I let them out, just not to, because that's like catch 22. If the hawk's around, they can't fly too. They gotta get eaten. They don't fly too far. They stay in the coop. But if the hawks came in, they can't survive. They just gotta get caught, So it depends on the location, I guess. But the New Jersey one, they're in the city, so they don't have that much hawk. I live at 7 acres of wetlands behind my house. It's not my 7 acres, but there's like a reservoir over there nobody can build. They just breeding over there. I can hear the babies and the hawks crying. So I know they're around. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
This was good, man. Yeah, this whole episode was brought up. Jamie Hilbert, one of the listeners to the podcast, wanted to talk about some Racing Pigeon Bloodlines and some, with the One Loft stuff coming up. And you've definitely got a lot of championships and experience under your belt. And, the Racing Pigeons for military veterans, man, that's really cool. Thanks for keep that going. I think that's a really good program there.
Yeah, search it up. So happy to help. We're expanding. I think we don't have a coordinator for Arizona yet. We might have hooked you guys up with that.
Okay.
We have Alabama, Indiana, Florida. We're everywhere. So we try to have coordinator in each state so they can help their local people.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks, Jason.
Thank you, guys.